Jennette McCurdy was a delight to watch as a child star on the Nickelodeon shows iCarly and Sam and Cat from 2007 to 2014. She had the kind of fame that many child stars would envy, with her face on the screen every week in millions of homes. She even performed a dance on a stage with Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the United States. Jennette was having the time of her life. However, while the screens and billboards depicted a happy, joyful character with a perfect life, McCurdy explains that her life behind the scenes was the polar opposite. My whole childhood and adolescence were very exploited. There was this half of my life that was so cheesy and so polished and so glossy and so fake. And then there was this other part of my life that was so painful and real and raw and hurting. And that part was going completely unseen, McCurdy said. In her recently released memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, the former child star documented her troubled relationship with her mother, as well as the dark side of the Nickelodeon set, which added to her emotional, mental, and physical struggles when she was much younger. Speaking about her mother's abuse of her as a child and her time at Nickelodeon, she admitted that she never wanted to be an actress because acting was always difficult for her. But her mother put her through it from a very young age, and as a result of her fame, she became the breadwinner for her family at the young age of 10. It's the thing that I feel the most ashamed of in my entire life. I do not like any of the acting work, any of the projects I've been a part of as an actor. Even talking about it, honestly, my heart starts to race, and I feel like I almost could cry. But I know that kids like the shows, and I think that it's great that they like them. But for me, it was really hugely negative on my self-esteem and on my mental health. It's a thing that kind of haunts me. My mom put me in it when I was 6, and by sort of age, I guess, 10 or 11, I was the main financial supporter for my family. My family didn't have a lot of money, and this was their way out, McCurdy says. She admitted that her mother, Debbie McCurdy, a failed child star herself, policed everything she was involved in, and even gave her breast and vaginal exams until she was 17 years old. Most importantly, McCurdy had to remain silent in order not to appear to be betraying her, so she had to accept the situation, even though she hated every moment of it.
I was never aiming for bulimia. I was attempting to have anorexia.
She further credited her mother for her struggles with anorexia and bulimia. McCurdy explained that when she was 11, her mother encouraged her to limit her calorie intake in order to delay puberty so she could look thinner and book more roles. And while her weight loss was becoming a source of concern for those around her, including her dance instructor, pediatrician, and castmates, no one ever pushed the issue far enough to intervene. And when they did, her mother would go cold and withdraw her from the people who were concerned. What would happen if anybody tried to step in was my mom would completely turn off towards them. She'd go cold. If my dance instructor had continued to press, I'm sure my mom would have just pulled me out of dance. If somebody from church had said something, we wouldn't show up at that ward anymore. Like, she could not be challenged, McCurdy said. However, unlike her on-screen character, Sam Puckett, whose personality was built around food, McCurdy's real-life personality tried to avoid eating and suffered from bulimia, a chronic eating disorder. She further explains that it felt like life was mocking her every day, as her fans had the perception that she was exactly who she played, not knowing that she was depressed about maintaining a front that didn't represent who she really is. Also, she attempted to speak with Nickelodeon producers about changing her character's role from that of a foodie, but was unsuccessful. It's tragically hilarious. It made me so anxious because my character was constantly eating. I tried speaking with the producers on a couple of occasions, asking if we could dial back on that stuff. I had some sort of reasoning, like, I think there's so much more to Sam as a character, and I think she goes much deeper than this. But I was not capable of facing the eating disorder for myself. So, of course, I wasn't capable of saying, hey, I'm actually really struggling with this, so can we not? McCurdy said. But while she struggled quietly behind the scenes, her mother didn't help her any further. Once, she sent a mail shaming her daughter after a paparazzi photo showed her a chubbier McCurdy on a Hawaiian vacation with a boyfriend her and her mother didn't know about. But it wasn't just her mother. At the time, McCurdy claims that Nickelodeon controlled her life just as badly as her mother did. McCurdy explains that, in comparison to other cast members, Nickelodeon made it difficult for her to land other acting jobs outside of iCarly and Sam and Cat, which was wrong, given that she wasn't even breaking her contract. She explained that she began to resent her castmates, particularly Ariana Grande, who is also cast in the Sam and Cat spin-off series. Ariana was reportedly given permission to miss work in order to pursue her music career, while McCurdy was required to be present at all times. And she also had to turn down other acting job offers that conflicted with the shooting of iCarly or Sam and Cat. She, however, claims that she wasn't particularly envious of Ariana's privilege at first.
I was jealous specifically that she played charades with Tom Hanks. That's what got me.
But her breaking point came when Ariana arrived on set and revealed she'd spent the previous evening playing charades at Tom Hanks' house. It was difficult to listen to her talk without feeling envious, because who doesn't want to meet Tom Hanks? But it gets even worse. She wanted to be consoled with a slot directing one of the episodes, especially in a bid to prove she was more than just a child actor. But just as she had expected, the network blindsided her. I initially got a development deal with Nickelodeon for my own show a few years ago. I thought it was gonna be just that, my own show, she reveals. This was supposed to be Just Puckett, the harrowing tale of a brazy juvenile delinquent turned school counselor. Now, it's some half-baked two-hander. I believed that these people would do what they said they would, now that I've shown up to work every day, been a professional, swallowed my anger, and carried out a show for almost 40 episodes. Now that they've gotten what they wanted out of me, they're taking away the very reason why I was doing all of those things in the first place, she wrote in her memoir. But while this was a huge deal at the time, it wasn't the worst thing that the network did to her. In her memoir, she wrote that a powerful figure on set, whom she referred to as the creator, was a mirror image of her mother, as he was mean-spirited, controlling, and terrifying, and made grown men and women cry with his insults and degradation. And this included referring to them as idiots, buffoons, stupid, dummy, sloppy, for making basic errors. She explained that the creator made this set unsafe for everyone, especially her, by frequently initiating and inviting shoulder massages, photographing her in a bikini during a Nickelodeon wardrobe fitting, and pressuring her to drink his alcohol-laced coffee while she was still underage. She then stated that she was uncomfortable and wanted him to stop, but she was so afraid of offending him because of the obvious power dynamic. Even so, rather than dismissing the creator immediately, after the many series of allegations against him, Nickelodeon chose to isolate him in a cave-like room to the side of the soundstage, surrounded by piles of cold cuts, his favorite snack, and Kids' Choice Awards blimps, his most cherished life accomplishment. And it was so accepted because everyone was so scared of losing their job. I don't blame any of them. I get it. But it was really unfortunate everything that had happened in a children's television series environment. It really seems like there was nothing much of a moral compass there, she wrote. While the identity of the creator has remained unknown, there are reasons to believe she was referring to Dan Schneider, the creator and showrunner of iCarly, Sam and Cat, and other Nickelodeon shows. Schneider, who left the network in 2018 after his contract expired, was reported to have been laid off after an internal investigation found him guilty of being verbally abusive and inappropriate to his former employees. Although McCurdy didn't explicitly mention the creator, there is no doubt that the person and her mother shared a similar behavioral pattern, which was unhealthy for her, both on and off the set. She did, however, mention that after Sam and Cat was canceled in 2014, Nickelodeon offered her a $300,000 thank you gift if she agreed to not speak publicly about her experiences at the network, specifically the behavior of the creator. She explained that she felt like the money was hush money, and she is glad she declined it at the time because she can now talk about her experience on set without any secrets haunting her. However, as regards her joining the set of iCarly reboot, she made it clear that it is a no-brainer for her because her top priority at the moment is her mental health and happiness.
I think I did something that was really hard to do. Oh my God, it makes me emotional. I'm proud of myself.
I'm grateful for the financial stability that career provided me, and I'm grateful for the friendships I've made, and I'm grateful that it put me on the path that I'm on now. But it has been difficult for me to find value beyond that. That time of my life was so drenched in the baggage of not wanting to be there, of my mom, of the environment that I was in. I'd like to be able to have a little bit more peace with that, she said. Nonetheless, there is no doubt that she has been through a lot, and we can only hope that she recovers and returns to acting. But since she mentioned that she never enjoyed it in the first place, there's a huge chance we may never see McCurdy on our screens anymore. Enjoyed this video? We're sure you did. We'd also like to hear from you. Tell us what you think about Jennette McCurdy's experiences at Nickelodeon and at the hands of her mother in the comments section below. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.